Hi there, it's me again, Snoozles the Snuggle Hound, and I'm glad you came to see me again. I've been inside this morning all by myself because today is Monday, the first day of the week, when Denny and Sarah are at school and their mom and dad are at work. Did you know there are 7 days in a week? And the kids go to school for 5 of them. 5 days in a row. Monday, then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Then it's the end of the week, what people call the weekend, with 2 more days called Saturday and Sunday. I like the weekends because everyone is home all day and there's lots of things to do. But on the school days, no one is at home but me, and I can think about anything I want to think about. And do you know what else I can do? Yeah, sleep, take naps in the morning, and again in the afternoon. And right now the house is quiet, but I can hear something. Do you hear it too? It's the sound of rain up on the roof. Drops of water falling from the sky. Well, actually, they're falling from the clouds. You see, the clouds fill up with water, and then they let go of that water, and everything gets wet. And of course, it's water that makes everything grow outside. The grass and the flowers and the trees. It's a nice sound, don't you think so? It can be very relaxing, and I took a long nap this morning while listening to the rain, until I heard that rumbling of thunder. When the rain clouds get real dark, sometimes they make flashes of lightning across the sky, and that makes the sound of thunder. I used to get a little scared when I heard it, especially if it was loud. Now I don't mind it, but it did wake me up from my nap. And listening to all that water running down the roof made me realize I was thirsty. So I got up and walked into the kitchen to get a drink from my bowl, and on my way there, I looked out the window and saw such a beautiful sight. It was a rainbow, a big, bright rainbow in the sky. I couldn't even see the whole thing from the window, but maybe if I went outside. The rain had stopped for the moment, so I walked out to the backyard, and then I could see it. The rainbow rose up into the air above the forest behind our house, higher and higher, then back down to where I could see it touch the ground in the open field off to one side. Danny and Sarah had learned all about rainbows at school, and they told me how rainbows would sometimes appear in the sky. It happened when it was raining on one side of the sky, and the sun came out from behind the clouds on the other side. And as the sunshine would stream across the sky and shine its light on the raindrops, then magical things could happen as that light would reflect all these colors into the shape of a rainbow. And there were so many colors, with the brightest ones at the top, starting with red, then orange, and underneath the orange it was yellow. Then the colors were not so bright, but they were just as beautiful, starting with green, then blue, and at the bottom it was purple. Well, it was 2 different shades of purple that are called indigo and violet, but I just call it purple sometimes. And every once in a while you could see a rainbow going up into the sky, then all the way down to where it touched the ground, like this one. I could see the end of this rainbow over in that field, not that far away. Maybe just 100 yards from where I was standing. I've heard people say that you can find a treasure at the end of the rainbow, or a pot of gold, or something special. Could that be true? I knew that rainbows didn't last for long, so I decided to run across that field and see if I could look around inside it before it was gone. The grass was wet, and so were my paws. And as I ran through the field where the grass grew higher, water began dripping off my legs from all that rain that had fallen from the clouds. I was halfway across that field, and I should have been close to the rainbow by now, but the strangest thing was happening. As I got closer to where the rainbow had been just a minute ago, it had somehow moved further away from me. Why wouldn't it stay right there in that same spot so I could catch it and then run around inside all those colors? I heard a voice say, "What are you chasing now, Snoozles?" The voice came from above me, and I looked up into the big oak tree that stood at the edge of the forest. It was Holly, the wise old hawk who I would see now and then when I took my walks in the woods. She was sitting alone on a branch, staring down at me and smiling. "You just can't catch up with it, can you?" "No," I said. "Well, maybe you need to run faster. Come on." Holly jumped from the branch and opened her wings and flew toward the rainbow, and I began running as fast as I could, as fast as I've ever run before, trying to catch up with Holly Hawk and the rainbow. After a minute of this, Holly stopped flapping her wings and glided upward into another tall tree. I came to a stop also and sat there for a moment, catching my breath after running so hard. I was discouraged to see that the rainbow was just as far away as it had been before. Holly said, "Well, have you learned anything, Snoozles?" And I said, "I think I'm learning that you can't catch up to a rainbow." "That's right," she said, "because it's just a reflection of the sun shining on the rain, and we have to be this far away to really see it in all its glory." "Yes," I said, "I just thought there might be some treasure or some surprise or something special at the end of the rainbow." Holly said, "So tell me what you're doing now, Snoozles." Well, I wasn't really doing anything special, and so I said, "I'm just sitting here." "Is that all?" "Well, I'm breathing, trying to catch my breath after all that running, and I'm looking at a rainbow." Holly said, "And how does that feel?" "Looking at this rainbow, it feels good, of course, yes. How could it not feel good? It's so beautiful." She said, "And your breathing, how does that feel?" I was breathing slower now, taking long breaths and relaxing. And that felt especially good today because the air was cool and fresh and clean after all the rain. Holly was trying to tell me something, and I was beginning to understand. that being right here, just being where I am right now, and being close to my friend Holly Hawk was something special in itself. I said, I think I know what you're trying to tell me, that the end of the rainbow, Holly finished my sentence, could be right where you are, or even a little bit behind you sometimes. Behind me? What did she mean by that? When I turned around, I was looking at the house where I lived, with Danny and Sarah and their mom and dad and all these people who loved me and took good care of me. And this was enough for me. It was more than enough. What more could I possibly ask for? I took another look at the rainbow. It was fading away now, because the rain had stopped and the sun was shining everywhere. I said, "Thank you for being here, Holly. You're a very wise bird, and I'm glad you're my friend." "And I'm glad you're my friend, Snoozles," Holly said as she spread her wings and flew back into the forest. When the rainbow had finally disappeared, I turned and walked slowly back to my house, knowing now that this was the special thing, the treasure, for which I could be thankful. And I began to hum a simple melody and then sing these words. You're looking for a treasure, you're chasing every rainbow, and sometimes you're so close, but always so far. Will you ever get there? Someday will you know the end of the rainbow could be right where you are. Looking for a treasure, you're chasing every rainbow, and sometimes you're so